Meek Mill breaks silence, exposing what Diddy did to him behind closed doors. What if I told you that one of hip-hop's most resilient voices just pulled back the curtain on a storm of fake news, bot-driven smears, and twisted lawsuits, and said, "Enough is enough"? The world watched in silence as a shadowy scandal spread like wildfire. But now, Meek Mill isn't just clearing his name, he's exposing the machine behind it. This isn't just about one rapper versus a headline. It's about defending reputation, family, and truth in the age of viral lies. Strap in, because what you're about to hear is a raw, unfiltered takedown of false narratives and a masterclass in standing your ground. Meek Mill responds with fire. The silence broke with intensity. After weeks of speculation linking Meek to wild parties, shady rumors, and inappropriate scenes, he spoke up. Not with panic, but with poise. He made it crystal clear. He never attended those infamous gatherings, never stepped into the intimate setups being described, and never compromised his values. He stressed that he moves with integrity, always surrounded by loyal people. These weren't just denials, they were declarations. Meek wasn't begging for belief. He was correcting the record with power. In doing so, he flipped the lens back on the rumor mill itself, asking, who's really behind all this? The million-dollar challenge. Here's where things got real. Meek wasn't content with just setting the record straight. He dared the world to put up or shut up. He publicly offered $100,000 for an investigation to uncover who started the rumors and then raised the stakes even higher. He said he'd give $1 million to anyone who could actually prove the allegations were true. That's not just confidence. That's a direct slap in the face to the lie factory. In an industry where silence often equals guilt, Meek did the opposite. He challenged the world to do its homework, knowing full well it had nothing on him. The dangers of digital assassination. Let's pause and look at the bigger picture. What do you do when an AI-powered internet, flooded with fake accounts, decides you're guilty? Meek warned the public that these narratives aren't organic. He claimed only 20% of the engagement came from real people. The rest? Bots, fake profiles, algorithmic amplifiers. This isn't just a celebrity issue. It's a modern danger for anyone with a name. One false accusation, a few retweets, and your character is gone before you've had breakfast. Meek is sounding the alarm not just for himself, but for everyone who lives in a world where the line between truth and rumor gets erased by speed and scale. White parties? Not his scene. Addressing a now viral phrase, the white parties, Meek laughed off the idea that he'd ever even been at one. He made it clear, that's not his world, it's not his culture, and if people think he's out here mingling in secret at some scandalous events, they don't know him at all. With his usual Philly-bred grit, he mocked the ridiculousness of it all. His tone wasn't angry, it was confident, even humorous. Because when a lie is that outlandish, sometimes all you can do is laugh, and then shut it down. Family comes first. The part that hit hardest? His son. A 12-year-old boy, old enough to hear the gossip but too young to fully understand. Meek revealed that his son came to him confused, asking about the rumors. And that's when this stopped being just about pride or reputation. It became personal. As a father, Meek had to draw the line, not just to protect himself but to shield his child from being dragged through something he had nothing to do with. In that moment, we didn't see a rapper or a celebrity. We saw a father in pain, forced to explain lies to a child who only wants to understand who his dad really is. Subtle targeting through lawsuit language. Even though his name was never directly mentioned in the lawsuit that sparked these rumors, it included a suspicious clue, a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. For those paying attention, that was enough to connect dots that maybe shouldn't have been connected. Meek called it out for what it was, a passive-aggressive attack on his character. No names, but just enough detail to make the world guess. And guess they did. Blogs pounced, fans speculated, and suddenly Meek was in the middle of a narrative he never signed up for. But instead of hiding, he faced it head-on, determined not to let innuendo define his legacy. Calling out the media circus. In a sharp rebuke, Meek took aim at the media platforms that ran with the story without fact-checking. He highlighted the way non-Black-owned blogs seemed quick to jump on the narrative, even when the facts were shaky. This wasn't just personal, it was cultural. He accused the media of participating in a quiet erasure of credibility, especially for Black men in power. His message? You can't claim to be journalists while chasing clout over truth. And if you're going to talk about him, you better come with facts, not assumptions designed to trigger clicks. Exposing the hidden algorithm. You know what's worse than a rumor? A system designed to make that rumor trend. Meek pointed out that once his name was thrown into the conversation, the internet seemed to push it harder, suggesting that algorithms favored the drama, not the truth. That's when things get dangerous, because even if you post a response, even if you tell your truth, it gets buried under 100 lies. Lies designed to enrage, entertain, and go viral. Meek exposed the truth behind the tech. These platforms often don't care who gets destroyed, as long as the views keep rising. A different kind of strength. What's remarkable isn't just that Meek spoke up. It's how he did it. With clarity, with purpose, and with total control of his voice. He didn't break down, he didn't yell, he didn't disappear. He stepped into the fire and walked through it. That's rare, especially in an industry where silence is survival. Meek showed that real strength isn't measured in record sales or Instagram followers. It's measured in how you protect your name when no one else will. The importance of brand ownership. Meek emphasized something every artist and entrepreneur needs to understand. Your brand is your power. And when someone tries to stain it, they're not just hurting your image. They're hurting your income, your impact, and your influence. That's why he fought back so hard. Because he's not just a rapper, he's a business. And when your brand is worth millions, you don't let someone tarnish it without a fight. Meek's response was strategic, public, calculated, and ultimately essential. Final word, silence is not an option. This story isn't just about Meek Mill. It's about anyone who's ever had to stand up for themselves in a world where lies travel faster than truth. It's about knowing when to speak and how loud. Meek's voice shook the noise. And in doing so, he reclaimed his narrative, his identity, and his integrity. So if you've made it this far, ask yourself, when the noise comes for you, will you be ready? Here's the bottom line. Meek Mill's journey through this scandal, refusing to be gaslit, offering real money to clear his name, and refusing to let rumors define him, is a lesson in resilience. In an age where fake doesn't need your name and digital mobs can shape reality, Meek stands firm. He reminds us that reputation isn't forever, unless you fight for it. If you've been riveted by how one artist turned rumor into resistance, smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and hit subscribe. Because next up, we'll unpack how public figures fight back when the digital narrative runs away from them.